Hello Year 6, welcome to Tuesday's English lesson. Today we're going to look at understanding and using the active and passive voice. It is something we've covered through discrete grammar lessons previously, but today's is going to be tied into our trash Brazil geography English work. So I want you to be able to identify the subject, verb and object in a sentence. I want you to know whether a sentence is in the active or passive voice, and then I want you to be able to convert sentences from the active to the passive voice and vice versa. So here we go. Starting off, have a look at the sentence in the picture. I purchased a laptop. The verb in this sentence is the activity, the thing that is being done. So purchased is the activity, purchased is also the verb. Okay? The subject is the thing that is doing the verb. Okay? So I would be the subject here because I am purchasing something. Okay? The thing that is having the verb done to it, the thing that is being purchased in this case, is the laptop, and therefore that is the object of the sentence. Have a look at the example below. The cat chased the mouse through the garden. Can you spot the subject, verb, and object in this sentence? Pause the video if you want. Have a go. When you're ready, move on. Did you get it right? Well, the cat is the subject because that is the thing doing the chasing, which is the verb. So the thing doing the chasing is the subject, and then the thing having the verb done to it. So in this case, the thing being chased is the mouse, and therefore that is the object. Okay? If you would like, just to give you a bit more clarity, have a little watch of the YouTube links. Again, I'll put them onto Seesaw for you, and then you can have a watch of the videos. It will give you some more clarity about subject, verb, and object of a sentence. And again, this is going to be tied into today's LBQ tasks. So, the active and passive voice. In the active voice, we are told that someone or something does the action in a sentence. In the passive voice, we are told that someone or something has an action done to them or it. So, in the picture here, we've got some examples. So, James watered the flowers. So, can you see that James is the subject, he's doing the watering, and he is watering the flowers, which are the object. So that is the active voice. Now let's have a look and see how that changes when it goes into the passive voice. The flowers were watered by James. So can you see that the flowers that were at the end of the sentence have moved to the start? They are the thing having the verb done to it. Okay, and James, the subject from the original sentence, is now at the end. Let's look at the next row. Sarah finished the homework. Again, Sarah is the subject doing the verb, which is finishing, and the homework is the object. So subject, verb, object. Look how it's changed again for the second one. The homework was finished by Sarah. Finally, the puppy chewed the shoe. The shoe was chewed by the puppy. So each time, the thing that was at the end of the sentence has moved to the start. The verb is still in the middle, but it's got some auxiliary words added to it. And the thing that was at the start of the sentence has gone to the end. Can you spot any clues as well that tells you things are in the passive? Any words that would tell you each of those words in the passive voice are different to those in the active voice? Can you see that was and were and by are all used in each of those sentences? Okay, so that would be a clue that something's maybe in the active or the passive voice. Again, there is another YouTube link. It'll be on Seesaw. If you want to watch it to help you with your work, please feel free. So, a little challenge for you. Can you rewrite these in the passive voice? The first one, can you rewrite in the passive voice? Can you then rewrite the last one in the active voice? So the first one is in the active voice, it needs to go to the passive voice. The second one is in the passive voice, it needs to go to the active voice. Have a go, see how you do. Pause the video. So, for number one, it says the judge announced the verdict. To write that in the passive voice, it would become the verdict was announced by the judge. Again, I've added was and by. The second one, the crucial clue was discovered by the inspector. So that's in the passive voice. Can you see we have got was and by? This time it's going to be the inspector discovered the crucial clue. When we've put it into the active voice, we've got rid of was and by. So, having read the first chapter of our new book, you've all met a character called Raphael. And I want you to think about, what can you tell me about him? Where does he live? And what do you think life would be like in Raphael's shoes? So as you're explaining this, as you're going through, I want you to think of the reasons for your ideas. I want you to consider all these questions. I want you to think the reasons why you have the answers that you have in your head. Okay. So, Raphael lives in Brazil, a country with a population of over 200 million people. There are many other children living in Brazil, and to support our English today, we're going to learn a little bit about the life of children living in Rio de Janeiro. There is again another link to a video about two children living in a favela in Rio de Janeiro. However, if you don't watch this video, please don't panic because there is some information attached to your worksheet that you have at home. So today's task, I want you to read the research document. I want you to use some of the information from the video. And I want you to write, it's asking you for 6 sentences in the active voice. One has been done for you. And then I want you to rewrite them in the passive voice. So you should have the same information on both sides, but on the left it should be written in the active voice. On the right it should be written in the passive voice. So if you look at flooding and landslides can destroy the favelas. That is in the active voice. Remember, when we put it into the passive voice, we're going to take that object that was at the end of the sentence and we're going to move it to the start of the sentence. So we're going to begin with the favelas. The favelas can be, remember we had be added each time, can be destroyed by flooding and landslides. So again, can you hear we added by? So instead of was or were, we're adding can be this time. Okay? So the favelas can be destroyed by flooding and landslides. Have a go at coming up with some of your own. Think about what you know about favelas and think about what you read on the document. Keep the sentences simple. If you think about the sentences from the first slide where we looked at active and passive, it was very, very straightforward, not overcomplicated. Use simple ideas. It will make it easier for you to then convert it into the passive voice. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing your finished work.